Imagine hearing your front door slam over and over, only to open it and see your neighbor's son standing there out of breath, eyes wide with panic, yelling that your HOA president, Beverly Cranston, is outside shaving your daughter's hair by force. Not an argument, not a misunderstanding. A grown woman grabbing a child and shaving her head in broad daylight. That's exactly what happened to Terrence Holt, a black father who learned the hard way that some neighbors don't just cross lines, they bulldoze right over them. And when Terrence found out what Beverly did to his daughter, he made one phone call that changed everything. Terrence Holt never imagined his quiet Friday afternoon would be the spark that set a racist nightmare in motion. He was sitting on the couch, watching his daughter Liana braid her doll's hair, something she loved, something she did every day, when the first heavy slam hit his front door like someone was trying to break it down. Another slam, then another. Terrence jumped to his feet and yanked the door open, and there stood Troy Cranston, Beverly's spoiled little menace, gripping rocks like weapons. He wasn't playing. He wasn't confused. He was aiming. Before Terrence could speak, the next stone slipped from Troy's hand mid-throw, flew wide, and cracked the side of Terrence's new car, leaving a raw silver scar in the paint. Terrence's vision tightened. "Are you insane?" he snapped, storming toward the boy. "You throw one more rock and your mother's paying every dime." Troy froze, pale, snatched his hand back like he'd touched fire, then bolted down the sidewalk without a word. Terrence stared at the dent, jaw tight enough to snap. He should have dragged the kid to his mother's door right then. Instead, he breathed it out and let it go. A mistake. 20 minutes later, someone pounded on his door so violently the frame shook. Terrence opened it. And there she was, Beverly Cranston, still in her messy floral robe, still hiding behind oversized sunglasses, but her face, pure, unfiltered rage, and her voice, loud and racist enough to peel paint. "Why did you hit my son, you aggressive thug?" she screamed, jabbing a finger in Terrence's face before he could even inhale. Terrence blinked. "Hit him? I didn't touch him." "Don't lie to me," she shrieked. "He came home bruised because of you." Terrence laughed once, stunned. "Bruised? From what? Throwing rocks at my house?" Her nostrils flared, her smirk twisted. That's when the real Beverly came out. "You'll regret yelling at my child," she hissed. "I'm done letting people like you ruin this neighborhood." Terrence felt the shift. This wasn't a mother defending her kid. This was a racist looking for a target. His neighbor, Mr. Rowan, walked over, having seen everything earlier. "Beverly, he didn't touch Troy. I watched the whole..." She spun on him like a demon. "Mind your business, Rowan." And with that, she stomped off, robe flapping, sunglasses crooked, muttering threats under her breath. Terrence didn't know it yet, but the punishment she was planning was going to hit his daughter, not him. Saturday afternoon was supposed to be simple. Liana had been excited all week for her playdate with Caleb, Mr. Rowan's son. She'd picked out her pink dress, packed her dolls, and skipped out the door humming. Terrence walked her over, thanked Mr. Rowan, and headed back home to finish some work. 10 calm minutes passed, then 20, then 30. Nothing seemed off until the moment that would flip Terrence's world inside out. Because while the kids played outside in Mr. Rowan's front yard, laughing and swapping toys, Beverly's door flew open like she'd broken out of an asylum. She stomped out barefoot, hair wild, robe half open, screaming before she even reached the sidewalk. "There she is! That dirty little girl!" she shrieked, pointing at Liana. "She's the one spreading lice around this community?" Caleb froze. Liana stopped mid-laugh, confused. Beverly didn't stop. She marched across the lawn, grabbed Liana by the upper arm forcefully with the kind of grip meant to hurt, and yanked her away from Caleb. "Hey!" Caleb shouted, stepping back, eyes wide. Liana started crying instantly. "Let me go!" But Beverly already had the clippers in her other hand. This was planned. Before anyone could blink, the razor buzzed alive. "You black people bring problems to every neighborhood you move into," Beverly snarled. "You're not giving Caleb lice! Not today!" Then she pressed the clippers to Liana's scalp and hair began falling in chunks. Right there, in broad daylight. Have you ever seen a neighbor cross a line so badly it left a child in tears? What would you do if someone put their hands on your kid like that, grabbing her and shaving her hair by force? Before we go further, what city or country are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments. We love seeing where our viewers are tuning in from. And if you believe in standing up for your family and calling out injustice when you see it, smash that like button and subscribe to Story Arc, because standing up to cruelty starts with telling these stories. Caleb gasped and stepped back, horrified. "Stop! Stop!" he yelled, tears forming. "You're hurting her." Beverly shoved him out of the way with her elbow and kept shaving, holding Liana by the shoulder while the little girl screamed and sobbed, hair tumbling down her dress like shredded fabric. That's when Caleb did the only thing he could. He dropped his toy, sprinted off the yard, and ran full speed to Terrence's house. He slammed on Terrence's door with both fists, panting so hard he couldn't speak. Terrence ripped the door open. "Caleb, what's wrong?" She, Miss Beverly," Caleb gasped. "She's shaving Liana's hair. Outside, right now!" Terrence didn't even shut the door. He ran, full sprint, heart pounding like a drum of pure rage. And when he turned the corner into Mr. Rowan's yard, he saw it. Beverly standing over Liana, clippers buzzing, his daughter's curls piled in the grass like trash. Terrence didn't remember the ground beneath him. He didn't remember breathing. All he remembered was the sound, that vicious buzz of clippers scraping across his daughter's scalp while she cried for him. "Daddy!" Liana sobbed when she saw him. And that was it. Terrence's world snapped. He charged across Mr. Rowan's yard so fast, Beverly barely had time to turn before his hand clamped around her wrist, ripping the clippers away mid-stroke. The buzzing stopped with a harsh sputter, but the damage was already done. Liana's hair lay in broken, uneven chunks around her feet. Beverly jerked back, offended instead of ashamed. "Excuse you," she barked. "I'm maintaining community sanitation. Your daughter could be spreading lice to innocent children." Terrence stepped forward, voice low and trembling with a rage strong enough to crack concrete. "How dare you put your hands on my child?" Beverly didn't flinch. She smirked. "Maybe now you'll learn to control your little infestation," she spat, eyes full of cold, racist satisfaction. "Consider it repayment for what you did to my son." "What I did?" Terrence repeated, barely able to swallow the fury choking him. "Your son vandalized my property. I didn't touch him." "You yelled at him," Beverly snapped. "And people like you always escalate. I'm just protecting the neighborhood." "By assaulting a child," Terrence shouted. Liana sobbed harder. Terrence crouched, scooping her into his arms. Her head, patchy, raw, uneven, pressed against his chest, and he felt her shaking. That was the moment Terrence stopped seeing a crazy neighbor. He saw a criminal. He pulled his phone from his pocket, and Beverly's smirk wavered. "Oh, please," she scoffed. "You're not calling anyone. You're the aggressive one here. I'm the HOA chairwoman." Terrence hit 911 right in front of her. "Operator," he said, voice steady despite the fire in his chest. "I need police at Oakline Terrace now. A woman just assaulted my daughter." Beverly's jaw dropped. "Assault? Are you insane? I was helping. I was saving everyone from a lice outbreak." "You shaved her head?" Terrence said, his eyes locked on hers like a scar. "Outside, without her father, while she screamed." "That's not a crime," Beverly shrieked. Caleb stepped forward behind Terrence, voice small but brave. "She grabbed her," he said to Terrence. "She dragged her. She wouldn't stop. I tried to stop her." Beverly's face drained of color. Sirens wailed in the distance, and for the first time since this started, Beverly looked scared. The sirens grew louder, slicing through Brookview Heights like a warning. Beverly backed up toward her porch, her facade cracking in real time. She tugged at her robe, adjusted her sunglasses, tried to pull herself together. But there was no version of this where she walked away dignified. 2 patrol cars screeched to a stop. Officer Hendricks and Officer Molina stepped out, hands already resting on their belts, eyes scanning the scene. Liana clung to Terrence's shoulder, her tiny fingers gripping his shirt, her freshly shaved scalp trembling against him. Officer Hendricks's face hardened instantly. "What happened here?" he asked. Before Terrence could open his mouth, Beverly jumped in like a rabid animal finally let off a leash. "Officers, thank God! He's attacking me and my property," she cried, pointing at Terrence with a shaky theatrical flourish. "His child has lice. She's infected. And I was trying to help the community. He's dangerous. He threatened me." Liana whimpered. Terrence didn't look away from the officers. Officer Hendricks held up a hand. "Ma'am, stop talking." Officer Molina crouched to Liana's level. "Sweetheart, did she do this to you?" Liana nodded, tears streaming. She grabbed me. I told her no. She shaved my hair. Caleb stepped forward, voice cracking but steady. I saw everything. She took her from our yard. She dragged her. She yelled at her. She shoved me when I tried to stop her. Beverly spun on him, face twisted. You little liar. That was it. Officer Hendricks's voice snapped like a whip. Ma'am, put your hands behind your back. Beverly's eyes bulged. What? I'm the HOA chairwoman. I have authority here. You don't have authority over children that aren't yours, Officer Molina said, and shaving a minor's head without consent is assault. Add the physical force, the bias remarks these kids heard, and the witnesses, you're done. Beverly staggered backward. This is retaliation. That thug yelled at my son. Terrence stepped forward, holding the clippers in his free hand, hair still stuck to the blade. You did this, he said coldly, to a 7-year-old girl. Officer Hendricks grabbed Beverly's wrists and cuffed her. She screamed, kicked, cursed, ranted about neighborhood standards and people like them, but it didn't matter. Every neighbor on the street had stepped outside. Phones were recording. Eyes were on her. Beverly was shoved into the squad car, her screams muffled behind steel and shame. Terrence held Liana tighter and whispered, You're safe now. Daddy's here. If you believe that father did exactly what any real parent should do, hit that like button. And if you want more stories where justice actually lands where it should, make sure you're subscribed to Story Arc so you never miss the next one.